remember that we had a very brief introduction of negotiation and then also about the module that we will be following for this semester's lecture. So 4 modules: preparation, negotiation, closing, and performance and evaluation. Right. So I also give you like a quick quiz to test what kind of negotiator are you. So I think we spent some time talk about it, and then if you still remember, we have 5 different types of negotiators, right? So if you still have that little kind of like an answering sheet that I give you, that you still remember there are mainly 5 different types of negotiators. So maybe let's just write them, and then so we can try to connect them. So which one do you still remember out of that 5 different types of negotiators? I remember we have dreamers, right?
Sean.
Sean. And then we also have the hagglers. Then we also have competitor.
And then we have the creative problem solver.
The creative problem solver. One last one, which should be, I think we have 5. Oh, we have a dodger. Right. Okay, so out of these 5 different types of negotiators, I also give you 5 different types of animals to help you to, to make the image more concrete. And then maybe we can just take a guess with which animal reflect on which type of negotiator. How about that? So maybe let's get started with this a wolf. Usually, should we compare it to, out of these 5, which one looks more relatable to, if you are this type of negotiator, you seem like a wolf in the negotiation. So I think most of us will say, okay, a wolf will be the competitor, right? A wolf, and then what about a sheep?
Sheep dreamer.
Yes. So
it seems too passive.
Very docile and very obedient, follows all the time, right? And then we also have what about this snake?
The problem, the creative problem.
Yeah, exactly. So if we think about the snakes, we think about the snake bites. They have venom. They're very dangerous. But in a way, we also know that if you watch Animal Planet, right? So you know that actually snakes don't usually attack, right? It tends to avoid certain kind of confrontation. So we would use this snake as the symbol for dodgers. Then, okay, now we only have 2 left, right? We have a very cute dog, a puppy, and then we also have a bird here. So what do you think, how would you relate them to the rest of the 5 types of negotiators, the haggler and the creative problem solver?
Could you please define haggler again?
Yes, so haggler, as we, because I was thinking that we can just try to use the animal's image to talk about the 5 different types of negotiators. So let's just say a puppy is adorable, and then also it's very very simple, right? You can train it, you know what to expect from a dog. So usually we will say that the dog is a haggler, and then we will go back to talk about what is a haggler. And then obviously we only leave the last animal for creative problem solver, right, which will be the bird. So yeah, exactly. So we have 5 different types of animals just to help you to have to impress you a little bit more about these 5 different types of negotiators. So now, oh sorry, we should go with something else. Yes, so I would like to introduce this dual concern model first, and then we will talk about which one and why should they be this one. Yes, so right here. So this is a kind of like a quadrant, or they say the dual concern model for negotiation, right? So you can see that we locate 5 different types of animals or 5 different types of negotiators on this quadrant. And then, so here we have the concern about own outcome. And then here we have the concern about others' outcome. So let's say in a very simple negotiation, probably we only have 2 sides of 2 parties of the negotiation. So if you still remember some of the statements out of that 35 statements that I gave you last week, some of them, obviously, you can see that they're testing that if you like conflict, if you like to obey, if you like rules, if you like to make your own rules. So all those questions, obviously, they are pointing at certain type of negotiators, right? So if you, let's say, if you are a dodger here, then it seems like you don't really you don't really have a lot of concern about your outcome, and then you also you don't really have too much concern about your own outcome or others' outcome. And then here, if you are a follower or you are a sheep, you are a dreamer, which means that you follow all the time. You are very obedient. Then it means that probably you will lose some benefit for yourself, right? Because you like to make other people happy. So concern about others' outcome, yes, very high, but concern about your own outcome, maybe not that high. And then to the very opposite of a sheep, of a dreamer, then obviously we have a competitor here, right? So you probably only concerned about your own outcome and not giving enough consideration to the other side's outcome. So now, again, we have these 2 types of negotiators, a haggler and a creative problem solver here. So it seems like, okay, a haggler is being very, the key word is like you want it to be very fair. Right, so you want to be fair, you concern about your own outcome. Obviously, that's the reason why you step into the negotiation. Meanwhile, you also have big concern about the other's outcome, okay? And then, let's see, okay, the bird, the creative problem solver, he or she also has great concern about his or her own outcome, but as well as about the other's outcome too. So can you just, from this chart, from this quadrant, from this dual concern model, what do we see as the biggest difference being either a haggler or a creative problem solver? I mean, it seems like they concern enough for themselves and then also about the other sides of the negotiation.
Suppose it comes down to maximization.
Exactly. So we can see that here, I concern about myself, I also concern about you, but meanwhile, it seems like we are still very much struggling in a zero-sum game, right? So it's like a pie is fixed, and then I'm thinking about how can we be more fair about this. So I'm trying to do my best to do a 50% job, right? So this is typically a haggler that I am trying to be very fair, so we will have the continuous business going on. But yet a problem solver that you can see on this chart, that I'm not only thinking about being fair, but I am also thinking about maximization, right? So I want overall make the total benefit bigger, the total revenue or profit whatsoever. And then after we create a bigger pie, now we started to share how do we divide the pie, right? So the first step for a creative problem solver is that I am not immediately jumping into, okay, what kind of method will be the most efficient method to solve this problem, but rather I want to look at the problem and let's see what kind of resources that I can bring into this negotiation. So all in all, even though, let's say, in the end, I only get, let's say, 45% of the share of the pie, but it's still bigger than original 50% of the pie, right? So that's the reason we, but I mean, like, obviously, there are times that the pie can be created bigger, and sometimes it cannot, right? This is just a zero-sum game. So that's why we always talk about what is the difference between a bargain and the difference between a more sophisticated negotiation. Okay, so a bargain, obviously, you wanted to be fair and then try to get benefits for yourself. But a more sophisticated negotiation, that you want to target not on the person, but you want to target on the problem. Okay, so this is the difference between a haggler and a creative problem solver. And then obviously, seems like a creative problem solver is a very good description for any negotiator. Right? It seems like you're smart, you're flexible, you solve problems, you bring benefits, bring resources. But I would say that actually these 5 types of negotiators, yeah, I mean, a creative problem solver sounds good, but there are also, I mean, as we said last week, there is no right or wrong type of negotiators, but there are only good or bad timing to be certain type of negotiators, right? So let's have a look at under what kind of circumstances it will be a good idea to be either one type of negotiator. So obviously, let's start with the wolf. How about that? So we will say that a wolf, he or she doesn't look friendly, right? So normally we wouldn't say, oh, I am expecting to meet a wolf, a very aggressive, competitive counterparty in the upcoming negotiation. You would feel scared, right? And then some companies are famous for being a wolf. For example, there's a big company, I'm pretty sure you have already heard about it. I think it's spelled like this, right? So Walmart is one of the biggest retailers in North America. We started from America, right? So Walmart is also, I think in China we also have several Walmarts, and then, but I mean, like with all these online shopping and everything, it's started to, stepping out of the stage of history. But let's say when Walmart started in the US and when it reached its peak time of business, what's Walmart famous for? If you have you ever studied any business case studies about the Walmart? What is Walmart famous for? Why did it reach success in the retailing market in the US or any other places in the world? They're most famous for they claim that they have, for each type of commodity, they claim that they have the cheapest price in town. Okay, they promise that. If you find anywhere the price is cheaper, you can bring your product back to Walmart and you can return it, and they will also compensate you. So this is their promise, okay? But yet, let's say there will always be more than one product in each genre, right? Let's say, okay, I have a I want to buy, let's say, microwave ovens. We will in Walmart, and then the thing is that they will put the lowest price out, and they will put it in a very obvious spot, and then show you the price and probably you go to the Walmart and you will look at the price and you say, God, $50 for one microwave oven, that's really cheap. And then they will make that sign really in the biggest letter that you can ever imagine to attract you. And then but then obviously there will not only be one type of microwave oven in Walmart, right? You will have several, maybe 10, 20, and then you will learn that, oh, okay, this, you had your eyes on microwave oven A, which was the cheapest price, $50, and then you were attracted. And then you started to believe that, oh, Walmart really has the cheapest price in town. You already have this perception. You feel it, right? And then obviously the A product will be the most basic microwave oven. And then you will think about, oh, but then I see B, and I also see C, different type of microwave ovens. They seem a little bit better than A, right? So the price maybe goes to, I don't know, 80, or let's say 105, something like that. But you will, in the end, you compare all the descriptions and then, you know, everything, all the functions. You think that, oh, B or C will be a better choice for you or for your family. But you see the price is not 50 anymore. It's not the cheapest price in town. But you already have the perception that, oh, everything Walmart sells in their supermarket will be the cheapest price in town. So even though, well, I somehow believe that even if I go to another supermarket that C or B the same product, they will also be more expensive than what they sell in Walmart. So in the end, you pay the price, but they are not necessarily the cheapest price in town, right? Or maybe they are not. But just by this kind of like a bait, these days we have clickbait, right? 你上一些视频网站，你会看到有一些图片，看上去是很有吸引力，但点进去内容不是那样。But this is already a bait for you, and then you buy the bait, and then you are already somehow psychologically you're hooked. But then let's go back to talk about how can they reach this cheapest price to attract their customers, right? So obviously they need to have negotiation with the suppliers, right? So Walmart will be the retailer here, and then they go back to the suppliers, and then maybe next time I can bring that documentary. It's in Walmart they have a kind of office building in a very small town that Walmart started. And then, so they built this office building, and then on one floor, they have small rooms alongside the corridor. Okay? They are the negotiation rooms created for the suppliers. So all the suppliers need to go to this building and get into one small room and start negotiating with the Walmart representatives. And then yet Walmart, the interesting thing is that usually think about negotiation, right? We will say, okay, we will ask the suppliers to say that, okay, at what price you're willing to supply to us. And then we negotiate to say, can you make it cheaper? You know, what is our expectation? But to Walmart, it's a different story because they are the biggest retailers. They have the biggest number of supermarkets in the US. They have the biggest market share. So actually the Walmart, the buyers or the representatives of Walmart, they will tell the suppliers to tell you that at what price I want you to sell it to me. Okay? So maybe this number will be beyond the expectation of the suppliers. We'll say, well, we really cannot sell to you at that low price. But Walmart, they have a way of doing it. They know better about your cost of your production, of your, you know, the raw material. So they will calculate for you, and just to calculate your profit to the lowest amount, and then to tell you that this is the price you should sell to us. Because you know what, if you don't sell it to us at this price, you will lose a big market share. We will not sell your product, not only the product we're talking about now, but other products that we will also cut you out. So your brand will disappear from our supermarkets, and then that is a big loss to you. So in this way, Walmart is famous for being a very aggressive and very competitive negotiator in business. So, but we will also say that, well, seems like it's a nasty move, right? Or seems like you're not somehow being the one who is looking at the long-term business. But overall, because Walmart is it, I mean, he or she is the biggest wolf in the market, right? You have the biggest market share. You are strong enough, and then in a way, you can play this this trick with other people. So we wouldn't say competitor. I mean, in the end, Walmart did reach its success at some time in history, right? So must did something right. So in a way, we will say that for a competitor, for a wolf, for a very aggressive pattern of negotiation, basically it's all about I need to win, and then I don't care if you lose or not. But there are also timing. They feel comfortable with aggressive behavior. They don't hesitate to use threats or even unfaithful tactics, right? And they are extremely persuasive and persist on controlling the discussion. Okay, maybe they do the talking much more often than the other side of the negotiation, right? And then they exploit the other party's weakness. Okay, so there are timings for you to be a wolf. Not saying the wolf is the worst, but there are right timing to be a wolf, right? So first of all, let's say when you need to make a quick decision, right? You have pressure or you have very strong competition on the market. You need this bait to attract all your customers from where you locate, right? So you need this. There's a strong competition on the market. You need to make a quick decision. You just don't have time to negotiate all the time, okay? And then obviously there will be dangers, right? Ruining the negotiation. Maybe people just directly think that you are out of line. You're not being sincere. You are exploiting my weakness, right? So you're not a good long-term business friend. So maybe they will ruin the negotiation at once, and then you will end with no friendship, no long-term business relations. And then also, it's also, I mean, a lot of times business behaviors, you're asking for exchange of favors, right? I do you a favor, and next time you do me a favor. But since that you are being very aggressive, maybe it will be hard for you to have any exchange of favors, right? So also, a typical behavior for a competitor is that they're not good at listening, right? They tell you what to do out of their passion, out of their aggressive behavior pattern. But meanwhile, if you're not a good listener, you're also missing out the important information. You will lose the ability to find the resource to bring into the negotiation to make the pie bigger. Okay? So for a competitor that it has a lot of drawbacks, but also there will be timing for you to act like a wolf. But overall, we would say if you are not Walmart, you don't have such a big market share, it will be dangerous for you to play this trick all the time, or maybe you cannot really pull it through every time for negotiation. Right? So this is one thing. And then let's see the very opposite of a wolf, which is a sheep. Okay? So this is a dreamer, right? So to the very opposite of a wolf, a sheep actually, obviously will not have a I win, you lose attitude. But rather the opposite is that it doesn't matter if I lose as long as you win, as long as you are happy. So, for example, the relationship or the business relations or a friendship is extremely important for this negotiator, right? And that good atmosphere is the key for negotiation, you believe that. And also, you want it to be liked, right? You want it to be appreciated by others. You want to save face for the others, you want to give face to the others. Okay, this profile gives a lot of information and services. Also, you are also willing to reduce your expectations just to accommodate the other's needs or desires. That's why we also say it's accommodating, it's yielding. So it sounds like a very weak profile.
Very nice.
Nice, yeah, because you will be liked, right? So, but also, I think that the question is that sometimes you feel you are someone's friend because they like you, and also there are times people like you because you're easy, right? So there's I think I like you out of respect and on the, we're equal, we're on the same level, or I like you because you are a pushover. That will be two different types of like, right? One is more respectful, the other one is more exploiting, right? So obviously seems like a weak profile and exactly will be captured by a wolf, right? You will be exploited by a wolf. But there are also timings that you can and then you should choose to act to accommodate, right? So, for example, when you are seeking to enter into a new market, right? So you're new to the market, and then you are looking for opportunities to have collaborations or start building your brand, and then just this whole benefit is not your, or the monetary value is not your biggest concern at this step, then it's okay for you to use this opportunity and then to accommodate the other's needs and then just to, let's say, bring your brand to awareness in the market. Or when you're trying to build relationship with a much stronger counterparty. So a lot of companies still choose to go with Walmart and give them the lowest price because they know as long as I provide one product at the cheapest price to Walmart, I can count on more revenues on the other products that I sell to Walmart, right? And then, or when you or your company try to repair a broken relationship or business, right? This relationship or business fell out, let's say a few months ago, but now we're trying to repair it. Or to create a second possibility to negotiate. Okay, maybe the first negotiation failed, and then we're trying to create a second possibility to see if we can still negotiate. So in certain cultural background, right? So as we say that in different kind of cultures, negotiation will be under, they are understood in very different ways. Then obviously you will have things that for sure, the sheep is probably one of the most vulnerable animals on the planet, right? So the first is that you give way too much. You preserve relationship, but at your expense, right? So you will concede easily, so in that way you will attract predators. As we say that people like you because you bring value, or do people like you because you are just easy to be bullied, right? You will reveal crucial information, and then your generosity could be seen as weakness. Okay, so now we already talked about these two types of negotiators. Let's go back to relate them to different type of behaviors in our, how about in our daily life, okay? So let's say that we put it into a bargaining situation. So let's say in a bargaining situation, if you are a wolf, if you are a seller, or you are a buyer, how would you behave? And if you are a sheep, if you are a seller, or if you are a buyer, how would you behave? Let's put into some actions or narratives or the words that you will use to make yourself sound like a wolf or sound like a sheep. And we can discuss about this. Let's say this is a bargaining situation, right? You are buying things from a seller or you're selling things to a buyer. This is a bargaining, so in probably there's not too much resources that you can bring into the negotiation. You're basically just talking about the price here, and then how would you say, or what would you say, or how would you behave to make yourself look more competitive or to make yourself look more accommodating. Okay, let's say the time is around. Yeah, so why don't we take a 5-minute break, and then meanwhile you can discuss about this, then we will come back to talk about it after the break. Let's take a 5 minutes break. Okay, let's come back to, actually I think the situation that I gave to you about the bargaining and the seller and the buyer is actually too abstract. So why don't I just give you this small game or an experiment that you can try to put yourself in those players' shoes and to see how you will act. Okay? So the game goes like this. You enter into a room. Okay, so we have 10 total strangers on a round table. Okay, the fastest two people who can get the person sit across the table to run to them and line up behind their chairs can receive $2,000 and decide how to split between them. Okay, try to read this description again and see who will. Let's say who will have more advantages in this so-called mini negotiation.
I can see.
I mean, if we want to, we can also just arrange our tables to a round table, and then we can see how it goes. Should we do that?
Yes.
Okay, then let's arrange a round shape in the. We can use that. Let's put it like this. We need 10 people, and then we can arrange the table and we can put it up here. So to make it a round shape. But this is only, yeah, we need to make it slightly bigger.
Slightly bigger? You want to put it in circle?
Yeah, like a round table, like a Chinese dining table.
Okay.
Maybe we have to put it here.
I think I'm dumb.
Huh? Now you can see shapes.
Let's make it, how do we do this?
This
is
like this. And then we can make a round shape here. And yeah, let's just try to make it a round shape here.
Let's make it a round shape.
But we just need 10 people around the table.
1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
4, 5, 6, 7.
Just make it around. Or like a basically around.
Is that yours? It's Sean.
Maybe there, I think here.
You don't want.
Is that enough?
Okay.
But now it's not round, eh?
It's about to be round.
Yeah.
Like that way.
Maybe you might need.
Oh yeah, yeah. You need to turn it back.
It's now it seems a bit bigger.
Is it?
Isn't it big enough?
Yeah, it seems.
I mean, we don't need it to be perfect, right? So just,
That's not.
it's.
Can we have this? We have this nice circle then. Now don't we?
Does it
Yeah.
work? Oh no, it doesn't work. Yeah, it's giving me a hard time of arranging around the table.
No, another one.
That's what I want to suggest.
Let's make it almost like something look like round. Okay, so yeah, we can maybe just try to put it here. Let's say we don't need it to be perfect.
I wasn't good at geometry, so it doesn't have to be perfect. What do we
Yeah,
want?
we don't have to. I just want to create kind of like a round shape, and then we have 10 people across it. It's getting ridiculous.
Yes, but it's okay.
Say we have one. Now round.
We don't care.
Maybe let's just put it like this, and then we don't need everything to be perfect.
Yeah.
Sean, be smarter.
We don't want to put it inside. We just want to
Just pretend that
yeah, we're pretending.
we pretend this is a round table. Okay? Let's pretend this is a round table, and I need, how many tables do you have here? 1, 2. I need 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. So it's 10, right? So we have 10 sides here. Okay? So can I have 10 people?
I'm always eager to participate.
1, come on. We need 10 people. Give me 10 people up here so we can start the game.
I can't believe it.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How about that?
10. Without me, 10. You people.
Okay, go up here. You can line behind a table. Okay, not a table, a desk, whatever you call it. Yeah. Now we have line up behind a chair. Oh, sorry, not a chair, a desk. Okay.
Enough now?
So we have.
I thought this was a phone.
Here we have one more open spot here.
We got 11 people now.
No. I can need
10.
2, 4.
10 people, yes.
Are we 10?
Okay, so the description goes like this, okay? Remember, 10 of you, you don't know each other, okay? You're complete strangers. You get in the room, you look at the situation. Total strangers on a round table. The fact is 2 people, okay, who can get the person across you. For example, if I am you, Isaac, he will be your counterparty of the negotiation. Okay, so vice versa, she will be your counterparty. Okay, so across the table, right? So
be careful.
Whoever can persuade the person across the table of you to run up to you and line behind you, or everybody should have a chair.
Are we done with that? We can do it.
No. A chair. So who?
They want to stand. They want to stand. Is it? They want to stand up. It's fine.
No. The chair is actually important. The chair is actually important. Exactly. The chair is important. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me look for a chair.
So what?
I need that chair.
We just need 3 more chairs. Yes.
So are you supposed to do is to convince Kenny to stand behind?
A little bit labor work.
I think I lost this time. I wish I can convince you. Oh, and
Okay. We have 10 people. The other, you are not only bystanders. You also have to relate yourself to these characters. Okay. So 10 people sitting around the table, and then the fastest 2 people who can get the person across the table to you to run to you and line behind, stand behind your chair, you will receive $2,000, and then you can, whoever sit on the chair or who owns the chair, the owner of the chair, you get Isaac line behind you, so you will get 2,000, and then you get the right to decide how you would split 2,000 between you and your counterparty. Okay, you have the authority to decide how you are going to split the money. And whoever runs to the other side, maybe you can make the game very fast, but you have no authority of deciding how much money you can have. Okay, so this is the way that we can try to relate these 5 types of negotiators into this game. Okay, what will you do? Okay, I will give you, you cannot discuss about this. I will give you 1 minute to think about this, and then you can act.
It's a question?
Okay? Yeah, how would you behave? What will you do? Now you cannot discuss. Okay, now you cannot discuss, and I will give you 1 minute to think about it. You cannot eye contact with each other. You cannot eye contact.
Why?
You cannot eye contact. You see, you're total strangers. I'm just asking you to digest this description, and then I will get started to say act, and then you will see, and then you will act. You will negotiate, or whatever you will do in 1 minute later. Okay, I'm gonna give you the time, not 1 minute, let's say 30 seconds is good enough, okay? Think about it, what will you do? And then tell me how you would split the money if you are the winner of the negotiation. Okay? 15 seconds. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Do it.
Do what?
Do what?
Do what you should do in order to. Do you care about this 2,000 or not?
I don't know. She doesn't care.
Maybe.
Okay, I see these two groups are the fastest two groups. Okay?
I'm trustworthy.
Now I will give you 2,000.
Oh my god.
And you can, Liza can also have 2,000. And you decide, you tell me how you're going to split.
I'm gonna give you 45%.
45% of it.
Yeah.
Okay, and what about you? I said, how much you would 50-50. Okay, so you are being very fair.
Yeah.
You didn't get anything because you are not one of the fastest.
I can, but
Who's supposed to be behind you?
Right
Of
here.
course, that's a man. This guy is stubborn. That's why I got you.
So you see, when we see these two ladies, they just immediately run over to their counterparties of the negotiation lineup. Means that you are thinking about the bigger pictures, right? You think about, I don't have to negotiate, I just immediately go, and then as long as I'm the fastest to go, then we will be able to gain this 2,000 as a
Either
team.
way. Yeah.
Although, at the end of the game, you will not have the authority to decide how much you get, right? So, so for you, Jesse said that he will only give you 45%. Never trust me.
that's
See?
selfish.
Do you think it's fair? So how much do you think you should get?
Wow.
55 for you, because you take the initiative move to make it, right? And then somehow he is the one who gets the authority to decide, and then he only gives you 45.
45 is better than nothing.
Exactly, and then this is what typically a competitor will say.
Exactly.
This is typically what a competitor will say, that, well, I give you 10%, but 10% is better than nothing. But although you say 45% is a bit better than 10%, but it's still not 50-50, right? And then if you think about it, you didn't do anything. She just automatically, and then she is willing to put her benefit at risk in your hand and run over to you to form a team. At least two of you will get 2,000. Not saying right or wrong. I mean, you can be, shameless in a way to say that I give you only 45%, right? And this is your right. I mean, that this is the rule of the game.
She trusted me.
So that's why she mistrusted you, because she hoped that at least you will give her 50% or even 55% if you're being kind enough, but you only say 45. Sorry.
Okay, brother, because we know each other, that's why. Let's change partners.
But you see, we see something here happen. It's nothing happened.
They know each other.
It's one of
That's
the ones
why.
that you don't understand the game.
No, but that's, I feel like, sorry.
Okay.
I feel like
I didn't understand anything. What we're supposed to do.
I think
Now you
it's a
understand.
passive, it's a
But
passive
you
decision.
see, you didn't go run over to him.
But I wait for him.
So that's why you believe that you need to be the one who controls the
No,
side.
I wait. He will come.
I think it will.
But he didn't come.
So why were you even here?
So exactly. So if you care, let's say obviously we know $2,000 now is.
But
just
actually,
another-
what
What if I really put $2,000 on the table? If you understand, if you were literally.
I know she'll come.
he will
I
come.
know for
too.
sure will come.
He will run
He said
here.
he didn't even
He will
understand.
run, and I will not give him anything.
No, you understood the game.
That's why I wait
But
for.
No, but
let's change partners.
No,
Because we know each other.
No.
Let's do
And
like
you
this.
know me.
Foreigners in Chinese, like that, we don't know each other.
Yeah.
No. I told you, all of you should be strangers in this game.
So we assume we are strangers.
You
and
assume that
exactly.
you're strangers.
And I think, what I think.
But wait, before you get on, we assume we're strangers, but we are actually not strangers.
But it's,
so we can
no,
money strangers
Just-
here.
I think it
Yeah.
doesn't
No.
matter if you're strangers or not. It's more like you
What
are
would you
reflecting
do?
your preference on what type of negotiators you tend to be in the game. Right? Why don't you immediately run over to her?
I don't know, I trust her to come.
This
Why?
trust is
The
also
next
means
time.
that you feel like you believe that she will be accommodating enough to come to you. Right? So, well, anyway, this is the currently, sorry for these two ladies, you also run over, but sorry, you're slower, a little bit slower. So, yes.
Sorry, I just needed to make a comment also then. Sometimes the reason why some negotiators would not choose to X instantly is because, sure, it's a benefit of $1,000 or $2,000, but are we really in it for the money, or are we in it for, like, what's the end game at the end of it? You get the money at the end of the day, what are you going to do? Having been in a situation where she needs to compromise, or you need to compromise, and you need to, like, have this whole situation where you're trying to beg for money and something like that.
So are you talking about also about your pride
Yeah,
or
exactly. Not necessarily pride, but I would say, yeah, somewhat even, because at the end of the day, you don't want to be begging, would you? So what's the point of participating in the negotiation if it's being resolved in such a, what you call this, abrupt way?
Okay, so this is also, I mean, like, it's good that you talk about it, so that's why we can actually relate whatever happening on the stage here, relate them to 5 different types of negotiators. So typically a dodger is what you can say that, well, I don't really find the true value in this negotiation, right? The money is there, okay? You can say, well, if let's say I say $2,000 US sounds like a big sum of money, right? But what if I say $2? Maybe you don't care about this game. $2, 12块钱, why should I care, right? So either the value is not enough, is not, let's say, not attractive enough to you, so you feel like, why should I bother to negotiate? There's no point. Or the value here provided in the negotiation, even maybe it's a big sum of money, but it's not valuable enough, or it's not that important to you, right? This is not where you are aiming for. So money, or maybe the monetary value, is not your goal. So in this case, you can choose to not play the game, not to negotiate, right? And then for the competitor, obviously we're looking at a very typical case here, right? So someone who believes that you will be the one to take control of the total, how I divide the total value, right? So you need to have everything in control, how to divide the pie, how to distribute the benefits, okay? And then you will refuse to put yourself at a vulnerable situation to say, what if I run over this person, will only give me 10% or 20%, right? It's not fair for me. So this is a typical competitor, is that you maybe, I mean, like, not because you know each other, you will not say it, right? So let's say if I am really a very aggressive person, I would say, I demand you to run over to me right now, otherwise I'm gonna, I don't know, kill you after the class, you know, things like that, just in a very extreme way. And then the dreamer, we're seeing basically many ladies run, you know, lining behind their counterparties, is that you're more accommodating. You're thinking for the team. Okay, at least 2 of us, and then I'm willing to be put myself at a vulnerable situation. I will give you the authority to decide, as long as you're happy, right? And then it's very, if you are. Then we're looking here, Isaac is obviously a very fair player, right? I didn't do anything, and then, okay, you run over to me, we gain 2,000 US dollars, then we will do very fair game, 50-50. Okay, so let's say if you are being kind enough, you can also say, well, you run over to me, maybe I will give you, I don't know, 55%, because you are the one who did the labor work, I didn't do anything, right? So, but let's say a creative problem solver, how do we bring the resource into this game? So if you go back to see, that's why I say cheers are important in this game, right? So if you read the description, the two persons, two people who can get the person seated across the table to run over to them and line up behind their chairs. You don't have to be on the chair. You can run over to your partner too. So if you can click at the moment, you can see there are actually extra benefit and values. Let's say you and Isaac. So after you read this description, you will see, okay, two people, the fastest two people who can get the person sit across the table to line behind my chair. I don't have to be on my chair. So you can run over to her chair, she can run over to your chair, and both of you can gain this 2,000. So now you're not looking at this so-called power struggle, right? I have more power, I'm more vulnerable. At this time, you're having a very clear view that there are value on the table that you ignore. Right? So you will create now the total sum is 2,000. You are trying to divide 2,000. But if you can see this thing and then find the opportunity, then it will be 4,000. You don't have to decide anything. Each one of you can have 2,000. Right? So obviously this is just a small experiment. But we wanted to use it as a small window to look into behaviors in negotiation. And then don't forget, problem is always the thing you want to target, not person. Okay? So that's why I think we can also see some different behaviors and choices made on this table, even though we have very random 10 people. And then you are obviously not fitting the perfect profile for 10 strangers because most of you know each other. Right? So in a way, I will say 5 different types of negotiators will act differently in the case, but the biggest difference between, see here, a handler and a creative problem solver is that can you maximize the time or not, or you're dividing within the certain sum. Okay, so this is the game, and I think that we can have a more kind of like concrete idea of what each type of negotiators are in the negotiation. Okay, so right, if you feel like you want to sit here, it's also fine. If you want to go back to where you sit before, it's also fine. Okay, so we can have this time. We have another 15 minutes. Okay, so let's quickly go through the rest of the 3 types of negotiators. You see, for a snake, a dodger, is that I will lose, you will lose the negotiation too. Either I don't like conflict, I don't like making decisions, especially when I think that there are risks will be possible, right? So I don't want to make decisions. I avoid conflict, or I postpone my decision-making process. You avoid issues and then not direct. But let's say that you can also use this profile during a rude or a violent negotiation, right? There's no point of clashing into each other, but you can just simply avoid it. Or when the best outcome of the negotiation, as we see here, is not what you want. Either the value is not at all what you want, or the value is not enough, not going to solve your problem. Okay, so the thing is that or you think this negotiation is going to be bad anyways. Even if the deal I can get, I will be exploited in a way. So you can also just use this tactic to avoid entering into a bad deal. Or let's say you are testing the market, which is not so important. You just want to know. You want to have negotiation, but you're only using the negotiation to collect information. You don't have to reach a deal or a contract in the end. You can bail out anytime. The danger is that, well, obviously the lack of transparency. Right? You will not say what you truly think of, and then you will find excuses, and then people could see you as not sincere. If you test the water, but you tested too many times. Maybe next time you will not find a counterparty of negotiation. A heckler is what we see typically here, right? Being very fair, very adorable, like very humble in a way. So you think that about negotiation is about giving and taking, exchange favors. You want to have it peaceful and very fair, quick movement with back and forth concessions, share benefit in the box, easy to deal with. Also, when you need the decision to be quickly done, you can just say to your counterparties on this table, just say, come run over to me, I will give you 50%, okay? Or I will give you 55%. So you also need to make a quick decision. Or when you're trying to break a deadlock, there's a typically way of saying they meet each other halfway, we meet at the middle of the road. So this is always a good way to test if we can break a deadlock. Or when you're trying to restart the discussion. Right? The danger is that, well, you fail to identify the underlying needs and values on the table, and then you're being conservative, fail to reach the optimum outcomes. Maybe you will neglect some details, as we see in the description of the experiment. And then this is also, you cannot bring other values besides money. Okay, so all the values that you bring into the game can be measured by monetary values. Well, then obviously in the end, we would say the problem solver is more win-win oriented. Okay, the mind is more free, can find different solutions, willing to share information. They like to create value instead of dividing it. Okay, good listeners, you see the details of the description. You ask a lot of questions. The thing is that if you have to make a long-term deal, obviously you don't just want to look at the monetary value, right? You want to look at how to build the good system so that the thing can roll on later, not every time you need to go through one negotiation, right? You want to have repeat business and also complex negotiation. Not, let's say, maybe not only A and B, but many other either investors, shareholders, bystanders, policymakers, decision, this governmental administration, bureaus are involved. So when things are more complex, you have to think about many more parties' values in this negotiation. It's better to take your time to do so. But obviously, there's one big danger is that you probably, because you want to make sure all the benefits are included, and then every party's value has been considered, and then it could be a slow decision-making process. And also because you truly want everybody to have a win-win solution, then you can get stuck with the details, right? Because you focus on the details. And then it requires a long preparation. You need to study and collect information, so still goes back to a slow decision. And meanwhile, you need to have a smart counterparty as well, right? So on the table in the game, if you make the sound to your counterparty, you say, cheers, you don't have to be there. But maybe your counterparty don't receive this information. And then in the end, you are forced to be a competitor or a dreamer or a hacker. Right? So in that way, you also need to have a smart enough counterparty to be able to read what you're trying to do. Right? Again, this dual model, and then this is, sorry, I think we don't really have too much time, but this is a quick case study that I would like to introduce to you as one of the very famous marketing guru, let's say, in Japan. He was the marketing director for Sony from the 60s to the 90s. So the case goes like this, right? So after Second World War, Sony developed their products and get really popular on the Japanese market. Their technologies were very welcome, very popular on the Japanese market. So now, at that time, the logo of Sony looked like this, not like nowadays, no. But they want to push their products into the American market. So they choose one of their most popular products on the Japanese market, which is this very small pocket-sized radio. They want to push the sale of this product on the American market. So the marketing director, he brought this product and then went to US and trying to negotiate with different kind of buyers and distributors to say that, are you interested in buying our products? So in the end, he found this Boulevard. Now it's not a technology or like electrical products company anymore. But at that time, Boulevard was one of the very few companies who are interested in their pocket-sized radio. Because if you know, in the 70s or the 60s, the Americans like the big boom, the kind of like the booming kind of big radios, right? So this pocket-sized radio was not really a thing. So, but Boulevard got interested, and they're willing to buy 100,000 sets of their products and to test the water. But the request is that the Boulevard wants Sony to be the original equipment manufacturer. So they will not want the Sony logo on the product. They want to put their own logo on the product and push sales. So the price is really good. The price they offered was really good, and the amount of products that Boulevard was willing to purchase is also good. So Mr. Morita, that he reported immediately back to the headquarters in Tokyo and to say, oh, we found this buyer, and then they were interested. They want to buy 100,000 sets, but they want us to be the OEM. So obviously, for the monetary value, it's really, really good, right? You found a great distributor, a good brand, and maybe they will book more, will order more from us. So the headquarters back in Tokyo said, yes, take the deal. It's a good deal. But later, after Mr. Morita spent a few more days in New York, and he actually went to the negotiation table and then refused this so-called very good deal. And then he found another distributor who was only willing to buy 50,000 sets of their products, but they will use the Sony logo. So for Mr. Morita, that his goal, his vision for the negotiation is that we want to push sales, not this small product of Sony. We want Sony, the brand, enter.
You want
to
create
enter.
brand awareness.
Yeah, they want to create a solid brand image on the U.S. market, and then later we will have many, many more products to sell on the market. We are not trying to sell the numbers. We're trying to build the brand. Right? So in the end, obviously this is a good move, and then it has been included in many business case studies to say that you need to know when to negotiate and when to refuse a negotiation.
But you should know your goal.
Yeah, exactly. Know your plan and your goal is one very vital information, or even your spiritual bone, what hold you through the negotiation to see at the end of the negotiation, can I get what I truly need or not? That's one part. Because sometimes people were kind of like blindsided by the good benefits or conditions and terms. You would think, well, it's a fool that if I don't take this deal. So it's typical, right? Let's say some platforms or apps, they have sales, right? They say, oh, this is 55% off, 45% off. You will think it's a good deal. It's like, I will buy this because it seems like I'm not spending money, but I'm like earning money, saving money by buying this product. But you also have to go back to ask yourself, do you really need this product or not? Is it gonna bring value to you or not, right? Otherwise, you will only be spending money instead of so-called saving or even earning money.
So I got a question here. Was it a dreamer here?
Here is what do we say, a dodger, right? So either the value is not enough, not $2,000 but $2. You don't care about it. It doesn't. It's not worth your work. Or the monetary value here is not really your goal, and you cannot achieve what you want to achieve, even if you walk out of the negotiation with the
telling us that to be a good negotiator, you should be a builder?
Not necessarily.
I think it's, again, goes back to, we always say there's no right or wrong type of negotiating. You just need to know why you are negotiating and what kind of timing you're looking at. There will be, under different circumstances, you need to choose to be different type of negotiators. Under these circumstances, even the best outcome of the negotiation is not what I have. It's not my vision for my company that I will be involved. If I need to be very aggressive and then this deal, let's say if I can earn, I don't know, 200,000 profit from this deal, I need to save my factory, I need to save my business, I need to pay, I don't know, the loan to the bank, then I need to be more aggressive, I need to be competitive, right?
For me, it's a bit confusing here because you said a competitor, or I don't know who was that, but you say that it's either a no or a yes. But here, I realized that since the company wasn't about to utilize their name, the Sony's name, he refused the deal. So it was more like a no here.
Okay, I see. I think here is about when I say yes or no situation, it means that this is what I want, and then the value I put here, I want you to supply to me at this price. If you don't, you walk away. I walk away. But here is that, okay, in the beginning, okay, this is what I wanted to do. I want to push the sale of this product. And then seems like this buyer was interested and then was willing to buy a lot. The benefit is good. The monetary value is good for me. And seems like I should take the deal or even negotiate for a better deal. But then I look back at the nature of this negotiation. Monetary value is not what I'm truly looking for, right? So maybe let's say you are the marketing director of your company, and then the headquarters say, hey, Jessie, you go and sell these products, as many as possible on the foreign market. But then you started to think about why should we only focus on this one-time deal about how much money we can earn. Instead, we can push the sale of not only our product, but we build a more long-term line to say that, okay, everybody, I know this product will be popular, and now everybody will notice this brand. Sony, new brand, nobody heard about it. But if this product can be successful on the market, not only this product will be popular, Sony will open the door of a new market. So through the negotiation, I realized that the nature of this negotiation is not what I'm looking for. So I changed my direction. I refuse this. I'm out of this negotiation. I'm not going to say, oh, but at a lower price, you put our brand at a higher price. I don't. There's no point of bothering because for Boulevard, the goal is that they need an OEM. They don't want to introduce a new brand to the market to be their competitor. So, do I make any sense to you? Okay. Right. So one last minute. Okay. Actually, we're already out of time. So this is a situational matrix that if you're interested, you can see that for here it's the same, right? The perceived importance of future relationship, why you want to be a dreamer, why you want to keep good relations, okay, how important it is. And here's the perceived conflict over stakes, okay? So the value or the profit or the stakes, right? So we have this matrix and you can look at it. It's a little bit vague because I got it from another textbook to see that under different kind of circumstances, which type of strategies will be more suitable for it. Okay. 后面有课的你们可以去看。Whoever have classes next, you feel free to go. So we can see here is that maybe let's look at this low conflict over stakes and also low perceived importance of future relationships. So the best strategy is to go back to dodging, to avoid, to accommodate or compromise. So for example, highway intersections. Okay, so have you ever been in a situation is that, okay, you want to go into a lane, okay, so let's say go into a highway, let's say. You have cars gathering together and then you are everybody trying to cut you in. Some people got really upset and worked out. want justice today. I need to tell you that this is not okay to come in. You're a jerk, you know, I have to find my justice today. But you also have to know that this is a passion out of a moment. But what is okay, you got into a fight, you fight over, you feel your justice has been realized, but you wasted your time and also everybody's time. So it's actually just easier to, you know, well, I will let you have it because this person will not change. It's not like you can save a person once at a time, right? So, or on airplane seating, right? So some people took your seats, they want to sit with their families or whatsoever. Just accommodate with it, right? Or avoid the negotiation. There is no point. The stake is just so low. Okay, but I understand sometimes out of passion you feel like I have to. Today is the day.
But
they will see me.
But thing is, like, you take an example of an airplane. Somebody sitting in your seat. That's not fair.
Exactly.
Why would I accept that? I'll be like, oh, please, can you move?
Okay, so what if this person tells you that, oh, I really want to sit with my family?
Your family? But that's my seat.
Huh?
That's my seat.
Yeah, but can you do me a favor?
Sorry.
Can you do me a favor that
I like
let me
looking at the
allow
window.
to, you know?
What if you like looking at the window too?
But I feel like
Depends on you. I don't know.
No, I'm not saying that everybody needs to follow these strategies. It's just let's
Actually,
say,
everybody needs to that.
huh?
Everybody needs to that because if you don't do that, sometimes have a fight stuff. You know, some people are sad. You have to.
I think
So that's why we would say emotion is also one of very important elements in negotiation.
But
You know, most of the times when you are in the good mood, you go up there and say, nah, it's okay.
It's
You
okay,
can
that
sit
was
with
wicked.
it." Yeah. But something, you already had a long day, you I don't know, you had a problem with your
Wait.
friends.
But no, sure. I think value is important there too.
What is important?
Value.
Value.
Principles. Maybe at that time, probably what that person values, you know, doesn't. It's not congruent to you. So you not fight for it. You will not compromise. You will not avoid it.
It's also,
You
I
fight
think
for it.
it's also good what you said is that sometimes when we are looking at relationship, well, sometimes people believe relationship is most important. We're best friends. Why should I argue with you, right? There's no point. I will let you have it so we can keep good relations. Or sometimes people, as I said, today is the day. I need to realize my justice.
The same could happen with Sean. Imagine we are discussing about something, and it's something that involves our relationship, but also involve my self-respect. If I value my self-respect over our relationship,
And
then I will talk in a way that is more suitable to my self-respect compared to our relationship.
I understand. And I think value is also one of the very important elements of what drives people to do certain kinds of decisions, right? So the thing is, the metrics I present here, it doesn't say that. It's totally from a cost and a gain point of view. And then obviously to have your justice is one of your very, it's just like how our parents, you know, sometimes when we were little, you know, your parents smack you, not really because of anything that you did, but more about he or she is in a good mood today or not. Sometimes you did exactly the same thing today. Your parents would not hit you. Another day when they had some, you know, they had some anger from the work, they will smack everything out of you, right? So that's the thing that I'm just only saying that this seems like a more, let's say, conventional, more, let's say, reasonable way to act to it. But you have your own reasons. Everyone is different, right? Okay?
I'm so sorry.
No worries.
I just wanted to point out the fact that we ought to also remember that in a negotiation there are two people involved. And as much
是
as
有课的吗？
来身份验证的，
这个教室吗？418吗？
刚好418，我是新生。
哦，那我们这里马上结束了，好不好？你等我们一下下。
不是，我不知道是不是来错了，不好意思啊。
没事没事。Okay, go on.
I was just pointing out that there are always going to be two people in the negotiation. And in as much as we may stick to our values, the other person will eventually take on some of these strategies, be it that they're going to avoid, accommodate, or compromise. And I think it comes down to us realizing that it's not really always about us, because when we talk about value, we do have your values, but another person also has their value. And maybe their value at the end of the day is, I will not tolerate this kind of argument. It's fine. I am in the wrong. I took a seat. It's okay. I can look for another seat or something like that.
Then principles involved, because I think maybe value is subjective, but principle is not subjective.
But your principle and my principle, you see, that the conflict of those two aspects.
There's no conflict in principles, there's conflict in value.
I see. Let me put it this way. I think, let's say, go back to the airplane seating problem. So, Jessie, I mean, you can be very right to say, I have the ticket, this is my seat, I have all the legal right to take it. I want to sit here, I don't care whoever you're sitting next to, right?
If I value family, I'll let you sit.
Yeah, exactly.
If I don't value this,
then if you can also approach it from another, more like a social connection kind of value, right? And I see, oh, this is, you have a small kid sitting next to you, then I will be the bigger person, let you have it. But meanwhile, you are, what I think is that, okay, we're not the only negotiator in the negotiation. So let's say if I'm sitting next to my, I don't know, my boyfriend, and then I say, oh, I really want to sit with him, and then I come with a person with his principle as, I have to sit here, this is my, some people say, oh, what if the plane crashed? At least they will find me the right name for me, right? So I will be sitting on my seat. But then I, as the other side of the negotiation, I will also say, fine, you can have it, right? I can obviously spend 4 hours sitting different places from my boyfriend. It's not a big issue. So I'm saying that negotiation is not only one side, but we are only one person, so we are thinking for ourselves, so our values and everything. But the other one can also compromise and avoid it. Right? So I just say that there's no
even when you compromise about what you value. Let's say I'm working with you on a project. I value my relationship with you. I will compromise because of that, not because of the money we're bringing in. But that's also why we do such an action. Even if you think, we think, that the other side, my side, it's all about what you think is good, what you follow, your value and your principle. I just believe that all the time.
Okay.
I think then all of it just comes back to this, that there's no right kind of, like it's not stagnant, I would say. Your negotiation style is not stagnant. In different circumstances and different situations, presented with different evidence, you can become a different type of negotiator. So if you're going to be competitive because you don't know that this is the kid who's sitting next to us, then later on you're going to become a dodger or something like that. It's not
and also remember, in these cases, a highway intersection, airplane seating, you will probably only meet this person once in your lifetime. You don't have to, and you probably will not build a relationship with this person.
That's the point.
Unless it's a rom-com and then things.
So that's what I think about that too. At that moment, you don't have to please.
So yeah, you don't
You're
have to
acting
please,
in a
but
way.
yet the stake is so low.
Oh yeah, probably that perspective.
How much do you value your time and energy, your anger?
Now you're talking my language now, because now you say you value time, so you were like, okay, my time is more important than this, so I'm gonna let you hear. Because now you value something over than this thing.
I think a lot of times conflict we get into because we're somehow getting worked up and get obsessed with one small issue. And I feel like, and then obviously, if you only get cut in once, you will not do this with this person. But the thing is that all the accumulated anger that you had on all the way up here, and then maybe last time on the seats, another person asked me to change with, and then, okay, this seat was taken by another, then I just went even further from my original seat. So usually this kind of one case situation will not lead you to very serious negotiation, but more about accumulated feelings, emotions, and angers that lead you to feel like, okay, today, this is my outlet of all my emotions that I accumulated all the way. But if we're thinking about individual cases, the stake is so low, you will not build any relationship with this person, then you really don't have to bother. Okay, so can we agree with each other on this ground?
And we can leave now.
Agree to disagree, okay?
You go, everybody can go. Let's go.
Bye. We'll decide where we'll go.
Yeah, but I mean, like, yeah, I really don't want to occupy you for too long, but just the other, see, here is that, okay, if the stake is low, but the relationship value is very high, for example, with your family. Right? So a lot of things people will say, well, with my family, I can tolerate a lot of things. So accommodation, problem solving, or even compromising will be good way. And then for transactions, especially one-time transactions for bargaining, for example, the stake is high, the money is high, the money value is high, and then the relationship is not that important. It's just one-time transaction. So you can be more competitive. Also, you can choose to problem solve or compromise, just be a hacker, right? And then for the balance concern, if you want to build a long-term relationship, meanwhile, you also have great concern for the stakes. Okay, so you know, business partnership, joint venture, mergers, problem solving or compromise will be the better way because the relationship will be more balanced. Okay, so this is the matrix in the end of the lecture that I would like to point out. That obviously the environment is also important, but I unfortunately will have to save it for next time. Okay, so we will stop here. Sorry that I think I dragged along for like 13 minutes due to the also because of the key issue. Anyway, so how about we stop here today, and then do you guys mind to help me to put the chairs, the tables back to the original position? Oh, sorry. There's one more issue. I think there will be students business case development competition happening in Ningbo in November now. So we would like to see if any overseas students will be interested in this competition. You will form groups with another 6 Chinese students, and then you will go to Ningbo in, I think, mid-November to an exhibition hall. You will have this kind of booth that you can decorate to sell your products, and then you will negotiate with the business people from real companies, and then they will assist us with this kind of negotiation. And then meanwhile, you will also to form kind of like presentations to launch your product, to present your product to the potential buyers. The presentation will be held in English or other smaller languages, like I don't know, Spanish, Francais, Espanol, whatever you can speak. Okay. So if any one of you is interested, you can come to me, and then I will write your name down, and then later we will just gather everybody, and you will also have to work, maybe spend the time with the team members, and then to discuss about your strategies, how to present products. There will be teams from, I think, 80 different universities, and then it will be whoever won the prize. I think you will. I think it will be at least it will be helpful for you if you want to apply for postgrad programs or so and so. It will be a highlight. If you're interested, you can come to me and I will explain to you in detail.
Okay.
Let me sign the papers today.
Now, should you mind if I bring it the last week? Because
well, obviously, sure.
because we only have one class.
present the products at the competition, it will, like, the language ability will be a big add. So, sorry.
I make you cry when I run.
Oh yeah, the technology and the surveillance camera. So would you like to, maybe I can arrange a time for you to meet the students and to see if they can find, I don't know, opportunities or to add you. Because, I mean, the
You want
students.
to find a teacher or what?
No, bro, I'm trying to understand.
Okay. Because you're so into it, I'm like, oh my god.
Bro, just say location.
Yeah, I mean, like, for us is that we're, the first is that we will, if you're interested, I will let the team of students know, because now they already developed all their business plan and then they are, how they're going to decorate their booth. So everything is at this stage, and
You
then,
just submit it in your
they can find their
Oh,
team
you
leader,
check
and
that
then I
time,
can
you
give
accept,
contact to him or her, and then they can
And they
contact
go
you.
to
Agree with what they're doing, and then to see what kind of value you can bring.
You know it's like Chinese.
Would you like to do that? I think that I can have your- Oh, my God,
You stupid. Actually, I would like to have more details about that too.
you should have come earlier, so I only have to sing one.
You already tired?
I understand. Okay, this, let me explain to you again with, anyone who's interested in knowing this competition, please come up. Yes, I don't have to say again. We will have, we have this competition, which is a yearly competition. I can send some material to you later if you're interested, you can form a group. Is that this competition is valued in 3 parts. So 2 teams of students are already formed. So the first team that their product is camping gears. Yeah. The second team that their product is the technology and also the surveillance camera. So obviously these products are real. Then we got them from the real companies located in Hangzhou. But the whole business development and the whole business case development will be based on like a pseudonym or a name that's made up by the student. So now we have 2 teams of students. Each one of them have 6 people. We are thinking about adding 1 or 2 overseas students to the team so that you can bring extra perspectives and values to the team. So the competition will be divided. I think the grading will be divided into 3 or 4 parts. The first is the business plan, which is already done by the Chinese students. It's in Chinese, so in English it's already done. The second is the decoration of the booth. It will be an exhibition. It will be a kind of like a trade fair thing made up in the exhibition hall. So the booth, how to decorate the booth is still very much pending based on what the students want to do. And then you will have a launching or presentation of your products to the judges. This one will be done in English or, as I said, smaller Deutsch, whatever you can do. Then number 4 is that 4 parts. And then this is the negotiation. In the booth, while you present your products or in the booth, that there will be real business people from companies that they will come to you and then talk about how much you understand about these products and then the price you're willing to sell. What is your what do you call them, business skills, communication skills that you can connect with your clients or potential buyers. This will be the 4 parts of. This will also be in English, right? Obviously, this is a foreign trade fair situation. So the first step is done, and then the rest we have 3 more steps, and then we're thinking about adding if any foreign students will be interested, and then you can talk to the team members, and then just to let them know, because each team can be up to 8 people, so team members think that you can deliver what they want to deliver. I think the biggest value, obviously, is these two parts, with language and with the team. Right? And also, I mean, a lot of Chinese students are a bit more shy. They feel like they cannot really not present, but maybe the language will not be as fluent or natural as you want to talk to your clients. This is the thing. So if you're interested, then why don't we, I can add your...
We can personally add you or text you. I think it's better.
Yeah.
Because now
Oh,
we have-
do I have your...
We need time to reflect on it.
Yeah, but I would like to know if you're interested, you can, or you decided that you want to try it anyways, and then you can let me know, let's say by today or tomorrow.
That early? That's a lot of pressure.
I mean, you can join first.
I mean, we tried that. It's blindly and then denied. What was that?
I know. That's why I think the first is that I want to see that if you're interested, and then I want to.
It sounds interesting, but the thing, personally.
I know. I think it's also better for you to meet the team members
Members probably,
that
yeah.
you know better, right? So.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes. So why don't you maybe you can say hello to me so that I if I don't have
We go? We go?
I don't know if you done.
Are we done?
Oh, we're
Is that
very
everything?
done. I'm very done with you.
You got a lot of time.
Very enough.
Uh,
Let's
Bye
go.
bye,
Bye bye.
bye.